I think it's different. I tend to make the distinction with channeling, because it's not crafted, because I don't get to go back and fix it and make it my own, and put my spin on it. That's been important, and it's been my agreement with the guides. Other people may work differently, but my feeling was if this is to be an authentic transmission, I don't get to go back. And so I don't, and the hard part is it makes the process of channeling a book a little bit more like a tightrope walk for me, because if they were to say, and by the way, the moon really is made of green cheese, I know it's stuck there in the book. I can't go back. So I'm going to have to say, hey, wait a minute. And then they're going to have to respond, in the text. And in fact, they've done that. And I often do interrupt the teachings when it's too large a concept for me, or I worry that they might have contradicted something. And then they'll go and they'll explain, exactly what they mean. In the first book, at one point, early in the book, they sent me out they said, we're going to go Paul out to the shed outside with a magazine. They sent me to the outhouse so that they could just dictate. They said, go read a magazine and let us just do this. And I love being out of the way. And as I've continued to do this work, I'm far more out of the way because, it's like surfing. You just keep letting the words come, and not think about the meaning or the import or even the application, because I hear in phrases, still, and maybe again that changes one day, it's phrase, phrase, phrase. So I'm whispering the phrase and repeating it in a louder voice as it comes, and the next phrase is coming through, and it cycles through like this in this crazy way. So I don't understand that there's been any consistency to the teaching until I see the whole thing typed up, and I go, oh, it all makes sense. And the people that are listening have learned to listen to the through line in these things. So, it's a funny thing, but, nobody tells anybody how to channel. I think one does it, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. And have the guides ever talked to you about your relationship with them? Have they described prior lifetimes or what the connection is?
I don't inquire much, and when they've done this, they've done it in the books mostly, because when I'm doing a book, I can't interrupt. In a public channeling, I can't interrupt and say, I don't want to hear this now because it's going to come. But they basically say it's something that I agreed to prior to coming, and that I am of them, whether or not I know it. So I've been working with them, this collective, prior. When I was a small boy, when I was 5, I had an experience, maybe 5, but I would have been, my brother was still in a crib and he's 2 years younger. So figure it, in that vicinity, maybe, 3 to 5 years old, 6 at the latest. I was an experience of a being hovering over the bed, and I was being taught by it. It was teaching me, it was speaking to me as I looked up to it. And then I remember floating in the ceiling, looking down at my body, having the conversation. It was the only out-of-body experience I ever had, and I talked to my family about it. It was a big deal. And sometimes I think I was being told in some way, what to expect. My childhood wasn't terribly happy. It was difficult in a lot of ways. And there would be these interesting periods that would later show up. I taught at Goddard College for many years, and I'm on the board now. And when I was 9 years old, which was a really rough year, I dreamt about the college. And then I saw it when I was 13. And then when I was 31 or 30, I got a call inviting me to apply for a job there. I thought, this is really weird, but it's still a special place. So I've had these markers throughout my life to perhaps give me the understanding that this has all been part of it. The guides' work with me has all been sort of in preparation, even when I didn't see it. And that gives me some comfort.